Kowaru here. As you all have seen in recent news, Netflix has recently released Evangelion to their streaming service along with a brand new dub. While I'm not personally a fan of Evangelion, frankly I just hate the mindfuck at the end because it feels like I wasted my time when everyone turned into emergency at the end for what felt like no other reason other than to have a cool mindfuck because Gainax. Anyway, I want to talk about it because frankly I find the whole controversy very interesting and I want to share my 2 cents on it. So roll the intro and let's get started. I find really interesting because I feel like this is where a lot of people finally figured out, but translation teams or translators can be incredibly biased. For the case of Netflix, I think they hired translators who were extremely biased towards Shinji and Kawaru's relationship for whatever reason. I guess 2 teenage boys can't confess they love each other during June because reasons. Not acting like a gross fujoshi, by the way. I think Kawaru's relationship was kind of obvious, especially when angels, alien or not, in anime tend to fall in love with the protagonist regardless of gender, just saying. As an example, comparing to the Evangelion subs. Imagine if you said you didn't like the 2003 Fullmetal Alchemist for Italy. You are saying this in an interview that'll later be translated for Italian television. Now, let's say Italy is a country that really likes 2003 Fullmetal Alchemist even though they made Hughes a Nazi for some reason. A translator that is biased towards you and towards your opinion, or just doesn't like you, will then go over your lines in an interview and say, "I hate Fullmetal Alchemist." Not fun, is it? That's the kind of thing I mean. And I read an interview with the writer of these translations for Netflix over Twitter that stated that she translated Kawaru and Shinji's relationship in particular so vaguely because she wanted it to be open for interpretation, meaning that she knows the real context but switched it either because she or someone else hated the original context enough to change it. Think about it. Have you ever heard of an anime where the character's relationship was cut and dry and a translator decided to make it open for interpretation? Did Crunchyroll translators make it open to interpretation when Ochako started to develop a crush for Deku? What about white blood cell and red blood cell's friendship? Edward and Alphonse's brotherly relationship? No, I think not, because that's not your fucking job as a translator to make things open to interpretation. You're supposed to accurately translate something. And it's not just a ship here. I could honestly care less who the hell Shinji touches with his sin hand. But Kawaru and Shinji's relationship is the biggest example at how funky these translations are. I'm fully watching Evangelion this time with the new dub. Not like it'll totally be accurate given the subs mentioned earlier, but whatevs. Apparently this dub was produced in-house by Netflix, which I didn't mind at first because I really loved the English dub for Devilman Crybaby and Violet Evergarden, so I thought they'd do a decent enough job. And yes and no. Shinji and Asuka sound about their age, which is 14 and later 15-ish respectively, but there's something weird about this dub in general. I think it's just the audio design and direction in particular I found strange, because there's moments with characters just talking in an empty space with no other possible audio to balance it out that it almost sounds like Pillow Boys, if anyone has seen that abomination. Sometimes I think the dub was out of sync too. When I was watching it, it felt like characters were speaking a little too early or a little too late to a point where it felt like strange rookie mistakes. Characters would even start talking super fast like it was an older dub that didn't know how to fit the words better in the allotted time given. I mean, I know that's not easy as I've been in fan dubs and I've done fan dubs to know that, and I still make mistakes like this dub team, but the difference is I'm just a girl in my 20s doing fan dubs with other independent creators sometimes, while this is, I don't know, Netflix? You know, a multi-million-dollar company that makes acclaimed shows like Black Mirror, Stranger Things, and Castlevania? Just saying? If this was still 1992, I mean this video wouldn't happen if it was, then I think for the era of the 90s it'd be pretty good, but I don't know, something about this dub just feels off. I do really like Ray Chase as Gendo though. He's just great as one of the worst dads in anime, even if I'm often just hearing the be careful who you call ugly in middle school version of Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. I think this is the absolute strangest decision Netflix made with the Eva dub. So, you're telling me that Netflix couldn't afford the simple rights to use Fly Me to the Moon in Evangelion? It's not even like Frank Sinatra is that expensive since his music is featured in Fallout New Vegas, and Fly Me to the Moon is also featured in Bayonetta. This either means Netflix was so cheap with this dub that they didn't even think it was worth adding in the ending song to one of the most critically acclaimed anime of the 90s. Just what? Either that or the rumor about Netflix hemorrhaging money is true, and that's how broke they are. I'm just saying, but I really doubt Fly Me to the Moon is that expensive compared to other songs, considering the song is often used in video games and commercials. Hell, I'm pretty sure I heard that song in a commercial the other day, just saying. The advertising for Evangelion was strangely suspicious. This is one of the world's most iconic anime. Even though I don't particularly care for it, I'm not gonna deny its popularity and impact upon the anime industry and America. Hell, the late Robin Williams was even a fan of Evangelion, and the anime continues to influence movies and TV shows to this day like Pacific Rim. So to say you have one of the biggest anime of all time available for legal streaming for the first time on a major site like Netflix, you're telling me you're not gonna advertise it more? I'm not saying Evangelion flavors at Baskin Robbins, but at least some GIFs on Twitter. Maybe a GIF of Gendo with a caption of like, "And you think your dad is bad? Watch Evangelion on Netflix this weekend." Like, dude, that's super easy. I just did it right there. Castlevania even did this stuff with an in-character Twitter that would switch between Alucard and Dracula. They announced it last winter and it just kind of popped onto Netflix. I would say it's on the front page, at least for me, but 90% of my Netflix is anime, so I'm not the best example, to be honest. I honestly have no clue if it's on someone else's front page if they don't really watch anime. Again, I'm not the biggest Evangelion fan, though Cruel Angel's Thesis is a fucking bop. I do feel bad for it. Only shit anime deserves to be treated like shit. And to see such a big name like this get treated so poorly by Netflix is sad, but also has me concerned for Netflix's future endeavors in anime. It's no secret that Netflix doesn't really have the best anime in terms of selection and variety, especially compared to Hulu that has almost triple the anime. But my concern going forward is that they're going to buy big anime that have never been legally available for streaming before, like Berserk or something, and fuck it over like they did Evangelion. I don't know. I don't know if Netflix is the type to listen to criticism, especially when people constantly criticize them for canceling some of their most discussed shows, and yeah, they ain't stopping with that with the cancel train, that's for sure. Who knows what's in store, but at least like Evangelion can be a lesson in how to approach anime like this again, because my gosh, that was kind of a disaster, no lie. Then again, I think Evangelion ends in disaster, so maybe this is fitting for an anime where everyone turns into Orange Fanta because the universe decided to let a 14-year-old choose everything. Because why not? Here's to hoping that at least the next anime brought to Netflix won't be so bad. My gosh. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any old or new subs would like to help support the channel in any way, then feel free to visit my Ko-fi page down below in the description, along with my social media tabs. For any subscribers, new or old, who'd like to help with video ideas or maybe want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!